it says you're a sixth grader. All right. Make sure I have facts straight before we begin. Okay, Joseph, I'm ready for you whenever you are. So where did you go back to?
So I went to
you were around 28?
The first note of 84
right.
To this part of 23.
Oh, 23.
And then I went down to the first note of B, and then I went back up to measure 5.
Okay. Yeah, make sure in the future to give your judge your roadmap.
Sorry.
Because I was with you and then it was gone. And I knew you went back somewhere because I recognized what you were playing. But yeah, just in the future. Because I noticed, yeah, it's not all numbered. So then as you started, I'm thinking, I wonder if he's not going to play the rest of it because it's not numbered or what's going to happen at the end. Because you've done so much preparation. Just make that final detail, like maybe write in, you know, however you want to notate, like X out what you're not doing and write in some kind of a DS, maybe where you know how to do, like put a sign, and then so I could follow what you're doing. Really good. You have sheet music in front of you?
Yeah.
Because it looks like you're looking down primarily like the whole time when you play.
Yeah.
Which it's something like this. There's so much as far as technical things that you have to really keep track of where you are on the mallets. I mean, typically that makes me very nervous when I see a mallet player just look down, you know, because especially if it's an ensemble where, okay, they've memorized it, they don't need the sheet music, and they're just looking straight down. But then there's more going on. You should be looking up for the conductor, somebody leading you, and out. You're your own conductor in this case, so that maybe doesn't apply. But just in general, just be aware of that tendency mallet players have to be kind of have blinders on, and they're just looking down at an instrument instead of getting their head out of the instrument and being aware of where everything is. It's difficult. We don't have markers like on piano where you can feel your way around. It's a visual instrument, but try not to get so tied into it as far as your sight. You're doing so good. This is such a challenging piece. How long have you been working on this?
Well, I went up to measure like something. I believe I went up to 20 22, and I played it for, what's it called? My lesson thing and the recital, and then I just practiced until the end.
So, I didn't get the
So
answer.
it was
About how
like
long have you been working on this?
8 months or
Oh,
something.
okay, so quite a long time. Yeah. I would beware of pushing, we all wanna push our limits and see what we can do. And it sounds like some of the phrases, you're pushing your limits as far as the upper extremities of your technique, how fast you can get through these runs. And there's a couple issues with that. First of all, musically, it might not be appropriate. You know, we have to kind of go with the composer and the arranger, what they give us, and they give us allegro moderato, which means moderately fast. Moderato is Italian, so for the English word moderately. And some of this, I would say you went more vivace, which is very fast, very energetic, and, but it wasn't always consistent. Sometimes you would slow down. Sometimes something happened where, okay, you're in a measure that's more demanding and more taxing on you technically, so we changed the tempo to match kind of our ability level, which generally is a no-no in music. You want to only change tempo when it's musically appropriate, when it adds to the music, when it's called for in print, or a director or teacher advises you that this needs to have an accelerando, or speed up or slow down. But I'm sensing a lot of speeding up and slowing down in you, where you're a wonderful player, you did so well, but the music suffers every time we do that, when it's not for a musical purpose. Does that make sense? Okay. So, and sometimes we get in a performance atmosphere and things change. Often we rush, we go faster, because we have nerves, the adrenaline's kicked in, things get kicked up a notch. I always say, well, I'd like to practice something a little faster than I want to perform it, because on the performance, especially when I was younger, it probably got kicked up a little bit because of the adrenaline, because of the rush of performing, and you want to be prepared for that. If you go in wanting to play it as fast as you can, and then that adrenaline kicks in, puts you over the edge, now we're not ready, and we can't keep up with that because we're not at that speed yet. But you have great technique, really quick, really fast. Just beware too of the mallet grip, that we're not gripping too close to the top of the mallets. Sometimes I notice you're gripping really high up on the mallets, and something like this, you want to have speed, you want to be able to get around. So that might be appropriate in this instance. But beware to measure when you're around 45, your 30-second notes. You change the rhythm a little bit. You're not playing the rhythm that's written. Actually, it starts, first in 43, and then again in 45. At the end, we're kind of jumping through and rushing to the of each beat. One in, to the in, that last we're getting there early. Mostly though, the rhythm's fine. They're all basically just 16 notes, one and a two and, so there's not a lot of room for rhythm problems. So you don't have rhythm problems as far as counting. I think it's just the tempo, the pushing, pulling. There's a lot of changing. Did you mean to change tempos throughout? Did you realize you were kind of doing that a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what were some maybe reasons or things that caused you to choose your tempo changes and fluctuations?
Like long runs, or if I like mess up.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Some of the long runs you really sped through, and we want to hear some of those written melodies and tonal progressions he takes us through in different scales, in different key areas. And when we go so fast, it's a cascade of notes. Sometimes things get jumbled. So just beware of that. You're doing so good. You're doing awesome. I don't want to rain on your parade, but I'm here to help a little bit and give you some different tips. Maybe things you've heard before, or maybe a few things you haven't heard before. But the overall product is wonderful. You're doing so good. Really, really good work. Okay? I think you're all done today.